everyone, welcome to another brilliant episode of Filmlab. I'm the Red Black Woman.
And I'm Steven.
Wonderful, great to have you, Steven, once again.
Super.
It's always an
great to be
amazing
here.
time. Today on Filmlab, we're going to be reviewing a limited series, The Penguin.
The Penguin, indeed.
Yes, so The Penguin is a spin-off of the Batman story, but this time it takes us into the backstory of who the Penguin really is, and gradually it uncovers different things that actually mold this particular character, the Penguin.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, so we're going to go into it after this break, and when we come back, we have amazing talking points that we can't wait to share with you guys. Don't go anywhere, this is still Filmlab, The Penguin.
Come on. You can help me up.
Life is just a dream.
You promised me, Oswald. I know, man. I deserve a better life. I'm working on it. The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. That should be the American dream right there. You know, beautiful story with a happy ending. But that ain't the way the world works. America's a hustle. Not that I'm complaining.
Penguin, you waltzing in here like you mean something. We're in the middle of a gang war.
Carmine Falcone's dead.
If we don't protect what's ours, we just look weak. The streets are talking again. They know there's only one man big enough to run this city.
Do you remember Carmine's daughter?
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sophia, I thought you was still at,
Arkham? No. I've been rehabilitated.
You're playing a dangerous game with his family, Hans. You think I want Sophia Falcone knocking on my door?
She is the hangman.
What is it you're really after, Oz?
Gonna tear down the empire from the inside out.
Hey guys, welcome back to Filmlab, and we're still reviewing The Penguin.
The Penguin.
Yes, we have very interesting talking points that we're about to actually dissect. So I'm going to start with Steven.
Okay, hey.
Great, so now The Penguin, right? We watched The Joker, and we saw how a villain was made
Yes.
while watching The Joker. Now, what would you say about The Penguin? This villain, The Penguin.
Yeah, so one thing I would say is when you oftentimes, so this has become really popular in modern day storytelling. You have films, series, content in general based around villains, right? We saw Maleficent.
Yes.
We've seen this on the rise. And sometimes you also have what we traditionally call the anti-hero.
Yes.
People like Tony Soprano,
Correct.
etc. Now, even in Boardwalk Empire, you had an anti-hero as the lead character. So anti-heroes have been around for some time. But what you had here is not them trying to make a villain an anti-hero, or them trying to establish how this person became a villain, or why this person became a villain. This is a villain's rise to popularity. This is a villain's rise to the top. This is how a villain expresses villainry. This is what villainy. So I would say that this movie stands out from the Joker because, and even I would say previous explorations of comic book villains or villains in general, because there's been a rise. I mean, if you look at things like Maleficent, The Sopranos, even in television, Boardwalk Empire, the stories based around anti-heroes and borderline villains. But this is not borderline villainy. This is villainy, straight up villainy. The Penguin is a villain. They tread the boundaries of anti-hero in the course of the story. At some points, they humanize him. They let us understand his motivations. But at the same time, this guy is a bad guy, and they let us know that at the end. And the way they turn the entire story around, and they do this cleverly. So I would say, despite this being a villain, I was put off by him, but like the story still made him like relatable. We're still able to enjoy watching the process.
Okay, so just a quick question for Stephen. What would you say is the difference between the story of the Joker and the story of the Penguin? Now, I'm highlighting the Joker because he had a pathetic story similar to the Penguin, quite a pathetic story. But what makes the story around the Joker very different, the type of villain he is, and the Penguin, the story around the Penguin, the type of villain he is, really? Because if you notice, the Joker, the villain was formed. He was never really a villain in the beginning.
Yeah,
speak
so
of the
that's
Penguin.
like that's the making of a villain, right? That's what the Joker was about. This is not the making of a villain. This is the story of a villainy. This is how villainy trumps in society, and how being evil can fetch you things, but it comes at a pretty penny. It comes at a big cost all the time. It always costs.
Can you highlight, like thinking back, what's the one thing that stood out for you that actually toyed with your expectation as the viewer?
For me, the one moment I would say my expectations were completely subverted. Even though the funny thing is, even though I knew this was coming, right? But I felt like we had come so far. I was like, I think they're gonna subvert the thing that we know they're gonna subvert. Then they still went ahead. I think it was the arrest of Sophia. That kind of like the way they executed it. So I thought, okay, he'll drive her to Arkham, right?
Normal execution style.
No. I thought
like
he was gonna drive her to the prison. I thought he was gonna drive her to prison because you already spoke with the councilman. So I thought he was spoilers, by the way. So I thought he was gonna drive her to prison, but no. He drove her to a bridge, and like it was perfect. It was perfect.
I actually thought when I saw that drive, my mind went to the clip from The Sopranos where what's his name? He was driving Chris's fiance. I can't really remember. Silvio was driving Chris's fiance and just driving on a long road, just passing.
And like she knew she was gonna die.
So when I saw that entire casting, when he said one last time, and
just like old times.
Just like old times, I was like, like typical Italian mob style killing. Okay, great. So for me, what actually stood out, what toyed with my expectations is, like you said, I saw this coming. Now I saw the penguin in his most vulnerable state when they took his mom, and I saw what literally happened to him. And then when he was having a conversation with Vic, he said something. He said, "You've seen me through everything. You've seen me through my, my ups and downs with my ma." And he kills Vic, and there was something he said that stood. I'm gonna paraphrase, and he said that like basically he can't accommodate pain. Like if anyone close to him is witch hunted or harmed for his sake because of him, he can't really accommodate that. So rather than anyone killing Vic, he would rather be the one to kill Vic. That's sick. So for me, I saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming, just like The Sopranos with Anthony killing Chris. Anyway, we're going to go on a quick short break, and when we come back, a lot more interesting talking points on The Penguin, the limited series. All right, this is still Filmlab, and we'll be right back. This is still Filmlab, where we're reviewing the limited series, The Penguin. Very interesting. It's been fun. So we still have a lot more interesting talking points.
Super.
To highlight. Now,
I think Collin Farrel. You have to go with Collin.
I was just about to say, we need to speak on his brilliant performance of the Penguin. So I have a lot to say about it because his performance really personally intrigued me. But can you sprinkle some salt before I just dive straight
I think the main
into
thing is I like the prosthetic makeup. Like obviously the difference between this and the Batman is he wasn't relying on the prosthetic makeup as much like in the Batman. This time he leaned into it. He added his own layers to it, and like obviously the limp. It was pretty consistent. It was a great performance all around, and I think award season, when it comes round, he's going to be in the hat for a lot of awards for the Penguin, or for as Oz in the Penguin.
I 100% agree with Stephen, and one thing that I really, the whole prosthetic makeup thing that you spoke about is one of the things I actually wanted to speak about. But what is prosthetic makeup without a brilliant performance of what the character is? He was so consistent with that limp. I can swear that he was born with the limp. And when you see the present day Oz, and the flashback of Oz, the younger Oz, I have to give credit, the character that the actor that played that character, the exact same limp, and I was really, really impressed. Now there's a scene that really stood out for me, where he really brought this character to life, and it was the ambush, a different mob family, and he was with Sofia Falcone, and before that, he was really bearing his heart out and saying he's sorry and everything. And then there's an ambush. Men, I feel like he personified the Penguin because he was saying a lot of lies. And for a split second, I loved the directing, how we entered Sofia Falcone's world and she just focused on his mouth. And the way he was talking, the way saliva just carelessly, I don't know, leaving his mouth. I was like, whoa, this dude is a penguin, and he's a sociopath. This guy has no remorse, like zero remorse. Remember the flashback scene when his younger self was with his mom, and he looks at his mom and he goes, I know you miss them, Ma. I miss them too. That was the point that she realized that Oz didn't miss his brothers. Beautiful. For the first time, I've watched the Batman Penguin, blah blah blah, but for the first time, I got to watch the Penguin in his morbid glory and understand truly what this character is about. So big shouts to Mr. Farrell. He did such a splendid
clapping
job.
for him. Wow, Collin Farrell's getting a round of applause in the studio. This is a great day. Yeah, and I think that was a great scene, and I can agree with you. For me, I feel like one thing I want to add, this is now not even just in praise of Collin Farrell's performance. This is in praise of the character, the Penguin, because if you notice, the character evolves. Yeah. So I mean, they use the flashbacks well to show his growth and to show where he's coming from. But then even where we meet him in the show is not how he ends up at the end of the show. So in 8 episodes, he goes from being this. Wow, the best way to describe it is not even just being an errand boy. The errand boy was when he was in the flashbacks. When we meet him, he's not the underboss, but he was the number 2 to Falcone. He was running a lot of errands for him. He was helping him do things. He was driving his daughter. There was a level of trust. Essentially, still an errand boy. He's a glorified errand boy. So it was almost like in their disdain and nobody cares about you or this type of thing. You're this, you're that. He was actually taking on board this feedback. I'm a small time guy. I need to think bigger. I need to not be this.
And he was counting his.
And he became a refined, not refined, he's still a sleaze.
No, he cleaned
but
up.
he became a little better than what he was when we met him. So that transformation in the character, I must commend as well.
Yes, he cleaned up. He went, and it was what the politician said to him. That look,
exactly.
If you want to rise from this level that you're in, right, it's doable. Tit for tat. Scratch your back, I scratch mine. You deliver me this, I deliver you this. But you got to clean up.
Exactly. You have to look clean.
You have to look clean. Yes, you have to look clean. And he actually did that. Interesting. I actually love the Penguin. There's so many layers, about the Penguin. And I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, but great storytelling.
There's so many
I would
layers.
say that relationship between him and his mom was an unhealthy one. And I feel
very
like
unhealthy.
Psychologically, it helps unpack a lot of things. And Francis was also broken and traumatized. That's his mom. She was broken.
She was cooked.
He cooked her.
He cooked her completely.
His mom. That's the best way to comment it. So yeah, I think we should go on a break now.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to explore more. This is Filmlab, still reviewing the limited series, The Penguin. We'll be right back. live on Filmlab reviewing The Penguin with Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so it's been so wonderful. It's been extremely interesting. So we're gonna go into,
some other great performances. Yeah.
Because they were outstanding. We can't give out all. For example, Vic is a great performance that we want you
to experience
for yourself, because you need to experience for yourself, okay? But we are going to talk about Sofia Falcone. Let me do it Italian. Sofia Falcone.
Yeah, played by Cristin.
Milioti. Yeah, played by Cristin. She did. She seamlessly took us through the soft girl who liked peaches and flowers, and yellow and green and soft colors, powder, earth tone, beautiful girl, to a nut job who just loved dark purple, black, red.
I love how you only told us the colors she was wearing, but she did a lot in this movie that we shall not spoil.
No. Now the reason why I'm talking
Cristin,
about the colors.
Milioti as Sofia Falcone.
Perfect. Now the reason why I'm talking about the colors is I'm trying to explain the extremes.
Yeah.
She went from one pendulum to the other pendulum, and you see where brilliant directing is. Is done in costuming. They used the costume to tell the story, and this woman ate the character and left no crumbs. Like, everything about her seamless transition from being that daddy's girl.
She ate the character and left no crumbs.
She ate the character and left no crumbs, because let's be honest, you're gonna watch it, you're gonna see how she seamlessly transitioned from a daddy's girl to the type of language she started using, to her expressions, her emotional expressions, and she just fell in love with psychology.
I think we can also shout out Mark Strong, her dad. Mark Strong. So he didn't have a lot of
cameo.
scenes. Basically a cameo appearance, but like Mark Strong, since Sherlock Holmes, I felt he's an incredible actor, and I almost feel like his career is a bit understated, probably because he was part of Green Lantern, a terrible movie. But I mean, overall, he was fantastic as Carmine Falcone. So I would give a little shout out there to Mark Strong as Carmine Falcone. He did a fantastic job.
If you really want to understand how to, have a brilliant cameo appearance, the Penguin
did a great job with Mark Strong. Yes.
Strong dialogue, short, intentional use of shots and lights. Perfect. Brought it to life. Brilliant. So it's a wrap on Filmlab. Unfortunately, we hate leaving you, and I know you hate us, leaving you. But definitely be part of the conversation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification button so you're aware whenever a new Filmlab review hits your screens. Do you have any other thing to say? What would you rate the entire? We always do this. It's a tradition on Filmlab.
Okay, Penguin.
The Penguin and viewers' choice.
This is an 8. This is an 8. This is an 8. Penguin is a great 8 over 10.
I have never heard Stephen give a movie an 8. He plays around, he flirts around with 7 and 6s. He's very good to give a strong 5, right? But I have never heard Stephen give
an 8.
An 8.
Well, here we go.
In my life.
Here's an 8 today.
That means this must really be a good show.
DC did a good job.
He's really stingy with marks. I'm the one that's quite generous. Yes, so watch it with serious-minded people. That's what you said. Yes, so it's a wrap. I love being with you on Filmlab.
This is great.
Yes, this is wonderful. Anyway, guys, until next time, be part of the conversation. Follow us on our social media handles showing on your screens right now. And until next time, be safe. I'm the Red Black Woman.
And I'm Steven.
Mwah.